those sort of intangible things that you always need as a football team.
Yeah, I mean it's 3 wins in a row, Firls, but yeah, 2 in the league. You're right. No, it's great. I think we've been through a difficult time. We tried to keep a consistency no matter what the result, but of course it's always a challenge when you've some injured players and you don't win games and everything seems like it's a problem, and then you win a few games and there's a different positivity in there, and that's good. I think that it was important that we got some rewards for some really, really good training weeks that I think the players have put in, and they've really stepped up, I think, to the challenge in the last few weeks and have been rewarded with that.
And you talk about training weeks, with the weather as it's been, how's your training week been so far?
It's been different. We haven't been down at our usual training ground in Chippenham. Our groundsman Jamie down there has probably got his feet up having a pot noodle today because he's not needed to do too much work. So I'm hoping that he gets out of his seat and clears it ready for Friday. But we've actually been down at Cirencester Town. They've been brilliant for us here. We've been in a little indoor 3G facility, which actually is great. And we've managed to get some actually good training done in there. So it's sometimes it's good. We've been off site and a little change of scenery for us. But the players are upbeat and training's been good.
And I talked about those wins in a row. I suppose the challenge now is to go and do it on the road, isn't it? But what a place to have to go and do it.
Yeah, great place to go and play football. You know, I've watched some of their games and the stadium's full. I watched the game against Sheffield Wednesday and the atmosphere was fantastic. There are obviously great support there. And it's a big club. We know it's a massive football club. And I think there's been some changes since the change of manager. I think they've become really, really difficult to beat. You see they're in a good run of form at the moment. And it'll be a big challenge for us.
And actually, you mentioned, their form there. We know it's a big club, but there was a big club in trouble last season. How impressive is the job to turn things around, get a bit of positivity and momentum back there that's going on, and they're just outside the playoff places.
I think it's impressive. You can't underestimate how hard it is when the club's gone through such a huge transition and turmoil. Then for people to be able to steady that ship, I think they should be very proud of the academy players that have been produced as a result of obviously having to adapt last season. So many young players got blooded, and you can see the quality of those players is coming through. So look, I think every manager has a different challenge, and every manager's got can have a difficult time. I think it's not easy to take such a big club in such a huge transition, but the fact that they're on the brink of the playoffs is testament to the work that's getting done. So look, we certainly know the level of the challenge at the weekend, but we go in it off the back of in the league a really good away performance against Oxford and back-to-back home wins. So we have our own energy that we want to bring to the game.
And you're on the brink of getting out of the bottom 4 if you can keep the results going. How big a carrot is that, just to sort of keep the enthusiasm levels up if ever they were in doubt?
Yeah, that's one carrot, of course, but I think the biggest thing for us is try to maintain consistency on a daily basis. The players are doing that, and I think that's good. And we've got more players returning, getting closer every week, so the competition is going up in training. So we just got to keep our consistency levels, and hopefully that transmits onto performances and results at the weekend.
Yeah, obviously Corey O'Keefe back available after suspension. How good to have him back, and all right, you've proved that you can win without him, but much easier to win with him, I guess.
Yeah, he's been brilliant this season, a lot of assists, and I think he's been a standout performer at times. So obviously we were disappointed with his suspension for the last game, but at the same time I thought Carl McAllister came in, he played slightly out of position on the right hand side and did a brilliant job for us, and we finished the game with Harvey Bunker playing in there. So the lads adapted around it and dug in, but of course it'll be good to get him back.
Christian Marquez has gone back to Wolves. How big a blow to lose him, because he looked class, hadn't he?
Yeah, good player, good young player, lots of talent, great on the ball. So, and a nice lad as well, trained well. So disappointing to lose him, but at the same time, I feel like since he stepped out, Ollie Casey's really stepped up. and Ollie's equally a young lad, slightly different attributes, but very, very good defender. And I think, middle of back three, he's really excelled in there when he's had the opportunity. So it's just another opportunity for somebody else to step in and show their worth.
And because Ollie's performed the way in which he has, does that sort of take some of the pressure off? Obviously, January's not too far away. Would that sort of change your mind if you've got the confidence in Ollie?
Oh, Ollie's probably, I haven't looked, but I would imagine he's one of the top three for amount of minutes played so far this season. So there's absolutely no doubt that we have plenty of confidence in Ollie. He's come down from Blackpool and done brilliant for us. So we continue to try to work with him and develop him, and that's the aim. I think you see even with Miles Pitt-Harris is taking positive steps as well. So even though sometimes they're not our players, we still want to be able to contribute to their development, and Ollie's certainly doing that.
How's Jordan Moore-Taylor?
Still struggling. He'll not be ready at the weekend. It's probably going to be longer than we'd initially hoped. So just a bit of a setback with a similar thing that he was out with before. So we just have to be a little patient there.
Is there anything sort of underlying with Jordan that he keeps sort of getting these injuries? Because he's a brilliant player when he's out on the pitch, but actually there's a bit of a struggle sometimes to get him out on the pitch enough. I
think it's hard because of course I've alluded to it before that we've stepped up a level, and you can see look, we've looked at the numbers. Our physical output is greater than it was last season, because it has to be, because the quality of the league's much higher. The demands have gone up on each individual player, and certainly as the squad was thin through that kind of middle part of the season so far, there was a lot of stress on the players that were fit. So yeah, we've had to ask a lot out of some of the players there, and Jordan just needs a little bit of time to build up and strengthen in those areas to make sure he doesn't break down again. So he came back and he felt good, but he started to feel it again, and I think we need to look a little bit deeper and make sure that whatever it is, we get it right.
And apart from the ones we've discussed, everyone else okay?
Yeah, David Davis has had another 4 weeks training, which is great. Dokes and Matty Stevens another step closer. One or maybe more of them might be involved at the weekend, which is positive. So no, we're in a good place at the moment in terms of the availability of the players. The ones you've mentioned are obviously out, Christian and Jordan Moore-Taylor, but the rest are looking good.